Welcome to Seeking God, where we encounter the questions and stories regarding faith. My morning routine includes getting up and participating in some form of exercise. Usually I run and walk. Some mornings I just walk. In some mornings, a few mornings, I will participate in another form of exercise. I started this many years ago because I came to believe that doing so would somehow enhance my life, help me to be healthier, and help me to continue to function in the ways in which I needed to function. Now that I have done it for a long time, on those mornings when I just don't feel up to it, or I'm in a place where I can't reasonably exercise, I find that my days just do not go as well. I get tired easily. I have very little energy. I can't think as clearly. In other words, the discipline of exercise has enhanced and helped my life. And even on those days when I don't want to do it, I often do it because I know what the results will be. I find often in our lives of faith that we take a rather passive approach to it, that we wait patiently for the holy to somehow move within our lives, transform our lives, and energize our faith. It certainly has been true for me at times in my life. It's been easy for me to just say, oh, it'll happen if it needs to happen. A few years ago, I met a couple of different imams. The first one came about because I received a letter inviting me and anyone who would like to come to a time where they would explain Islam. And at the conclusion of that, as sundown arrived, they would break their fast. It was during Ramadan. They invited us to break their fast with them. As I met with them, and in subsequent relationships within the Muslim community, I became aware of the importance of spiritual disciplines within their lives, just as I had become aware of the importance of the discipline of exercise within my life. And there were two things that really stood out to me among many others. The first was the role of prayer in the life of a Muslim who regularly practices their faith. Throughout the day at regular times, they stop what they're doing. They face Mecca and they pray. I was impressed by this. I knew that in my own life prayer was important, but I had just passed off the idea that any kind of regular prayer life on a daily basis, it's whatever. As I had become friends with Jews, I came to see the importance of prayer in their lives too. For me, my prayers were focused around worship, and even to some degree around my exercise life. But I saw that these folks practiced regular prayer in a disciplined way. And I was touched by this. The second thing that struck me as I met with the Muslims was the importance of fasting. The fasting has been part of Jewish traditions. It's been part of Christian traditions. But I had come to see it as being something only those of a more extreme faith would incorporate. But here were these people who seemed to be ordinary, day-to-day folks who lived out their faith, who each year during the month of Ramadan fasted from sunup to sundown. And as we gathered to break their fast with them, I became aware that somehow not only was this important to them, but as they broke their fast, there was a different celebration that took place. What I'm talking about are spiritual disciplines. Prayer and meditation are spiritual disciplines that cut across most boundaries into many, many aspects of different faiths. I've become aware of just how important spiritual disciplines are in my life as I've begun to practice them. Having been a part of this experience, I have been much more intentional in my prayers and in the discipline of praying regularly. I have incorporated fasting into my life. And although I will talk about it in another video with more detail, I will share with you that it has brought a different awareness to me regarding faith and food and discipline. If I miss days of exercising, it affects me and it affects my daily life. If I do not live out my spiritual disciplines, it affects me in my daily life. What I have come to find is that in practicing the spiritual disciplines, it opens me to a different way of experiencing the holy. Taking out things that stand in my way, enhancing my life of faith and my spirituality. It has been a very good experience. And I see spiritual disciplines as part of our journey of faith. So I invite you to explore what the spiritual disciplines are in your faith. And if you do not, begin to incorporate them into your life. And if you do, seek to be more intentional in how you live them out and practice them. Thank you for joining me on this journey of faith. Thank you for joining me in seeking God.